elegant Christmas decor, you're gonna love this embroidery design. Let's get started.
Look at the time, where does it go? So much to craft, so much to sew. Time is ticking, there's a buzz in the air. Need to get ready, no time to spare.
Good morning, gifted crafters. It's crafting time.
Today is gonna be that day. Gonna have things go my way. Embroidering fashion that sells. Using all my knowledge, I will excel. Stitch by stitch, let color shine bright. Turning a blank canvas into art feels right. Time is flying by and this is my art. With embroidery machines, I'm doing my part. I search the web for a magical design. Looking high and low as I sip on my wine. Metallic thread, watch it shimmer and shine. I transform my blanks into a one-of-a-kind. Stitch by stitch, let color shine bright. Turning a blank canvas into art feels right. Time is flying by and this is my art. With embroidery machines, I'm doing.
Live from the Sunshine State in Miami, Florida, here is the Gifted Crafters Morning Show with Nancy.
Good time. Ooh, time to get our craft on. Ooh, time to have fun. Ooh, time to feel good.
Good morning, gifted crafters, and welcome back to the Gifted Crafters Morning Show. Good morning out there. This is a channel where we do everything crafting. So if you're here for the first time, my name is Nancy with GiftsHQ, and in this channel we talk about any kind of craft like sewing, quilting, crocheting, knitting, decoupage, and just so much more. So if that's something that you're into, you're certainly in the right place. Go ahead and say hello in the chat. Let us know that you're here for the first time. And we have a really nice community that will welcome you in. So let's see who we have out there with us today. I see Nancy from Boston. Good morning to you. Faker McFake. Good morning. And also let us know where you're tuning in from, because I'd like to know where everyone's tuning in from all around the world. It's really exciting to see that. Deborah's here. Oh my goodness, from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Awesome. We've got our friends from Canada here as well. Good morning to you. We've got Lori. Good morning. Deborah from Virginia. We've got Becky from North Central Texas. We've got Barbara from Ohio and Robin's Quilt Basket. Good morning. Good morning to Jenny Owens and Boricua Sewing and Crafts. Good morning. We've got JBL. Good morning. And good morning to Lisa Lilly from Richmond, Illinois. We've got, let's see, Heather Kaufman. Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Yeah. Happy hump day, everyone. It is a hump day. Yay, Wednesday. So we're halfway there and the week is almost up. So Awesome. All right, let's see who else we have with us. We've got Deborah, good morning to you. We've got Barb Chumley, good morning to you. And Sharon, good morning. Let's see, I'm trying to go down the list. We've got Melinda, good morning. And we've got Fraser, I think that's it. You're watching from Massachusetts. Awesome. Stay nice and warm, please. We've got Georgette from Knoxville, Tennessee. Awesome. We've got, let's see, Denise from Clearwater, Florida. We've got Gemini Peg, good morning from Missouri. Marge, good morning from Wisconsin. All righty. Oh my
Barbara.
Goodness. We've got Barbara from Como, Italy? Is that Italy? No way. Awesome. Yay. I love Italy. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We've gone there a couple of times and I really love it. Just so much to see there. Oh my gosh. If you guys ever get to go to Europe, Italy's a place. It's got just beautiful places and oh my God, the food. I just can go on and on about that. And the gelato. Yeah. That's our favorite. Well, thank you for joining and welcome. Okay, let's see. We've got Jaws Mom. Good morning. Let's see. We've got Lynn. Good morning from Florida. Yay, a few people from Florida today. It's actually pretty chilly. Let's see what the weather's going to be like today in Florida. Let me just check because I didn't really look this morning. It's 67 degrees right now. Pretty chilly. Oh my goodness. Oh, going up to 79. Okay, that's kind of chilly for us. So yeah, let's break out the sweaters. Yay. All righty. Let's see. Oh, Lisa says your grandfather was from Italy. Awesome. That's amazing. Okay, so as you can tell, we've got people from all around the world and it's just really amazing. And we have a lot of fun. And I just love to be able to join everyone together for just the love of crafting and just, you know, having a great time because I like to have a good time here. And we kind of, you know, set the stage for your day, right? All righty. You love the ice cream, Barb. No worries. Yeah. Oh gosh. Deborah says 8 days until Christmas. Is that right? Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's pretty, wow. Yeah. Okay, Santa. Yeah, we know. 8 more days for Christmas. We gotcha. We're getting there. No worries. Well, I got all of my presents that I needed to mail have gone out the door. And I was so excited about that because, wow, it's like pressure release. It's like everything got done. Everything is out in the mail and they'll start getting them soon. And, you know, with this crazy weather that there's going on up north, you know, I just really wanted to give that little bit of extra lead time to make sure that it got there. So if you guys haven't gotten your projects out to the post office and they need to go out, you need to get moving on that. Because you just never know with this weather what's going to happen, right? Okay, now if you are new to the channel, I like to start off all of my sessions with a little toast. So grab yourself a cup of whatever it is that you have in the morning, coffee, tea, soda, water, even if you're just going to have a gelato because, you know, it's not a drink, but it's okay. You can have that too. But they've got tons of stuff. So anything that you like to have in the morning, go ahead and grab it. And espresso, yes, my husband's gonna want that espresso. Okay, let's go ahead and raise our cups nice and high. And if you don't have anything, no worries, I'm gonna pour you a cup. So let's go ahead and pour some cup in there. And let's just say that it's an espresso today. Awesome. Raise your glasses nice and high. And here is to a fantastic day. And if you're tuning in from all over the world, it may not be morning anymore, but whatever time it is, cheers. Hope you have a fantastic day or night. So raise that up and cheers, guys. Go ahead and grab your little swivel. Oh, that's fantastic. I'm gonna grab one more.
And pouring.
All right, yeah. Okay. Oh my goodness. Deborah says my last 2 packages. Oh boy, they go out today. Yay. Awesome. Give yourself a little pat in the back. You got it done. Yay. so much celebration now, because now that my packages are out the door, I really need to focus about my local people here. So I've already kind of started on that, and you guys are going to help me out today because we're going to do a little bit of that. So before we get into any of that, let's go grab some snacks because I know you guys are hungry. So let's go over, and I think we are going to do our let's see, food shack today. Is that it? Okay, awesome. So let's go ahead and go to our food shack. Get a little bit of a stretch, guys. We gotta get a little exercise in. You can't be sitting down for too long. You gotta keep it moving, right? So let's bring out the food shack and let's go grab some snacks. There we go. And it's gonna bring you a little bit of warmth for those of you who are in the cold weather over there. A little bit of warm weather from our sunny South Florida over here. Just don't forget, you can't feed the dolphins. And of course, we've got all the snacks on here. We've got some croissants there, and we've got some cookies and muffins and pastries and all kinds of things. And of course, for the healthy folks, we do have kale and carrots, and we've got some drone delivery, and you know they'll go to Italy too. So we're gonna go ahead and grab a little cup over here, and we'll get that delivered over to you. Don't forget, you can have as much as you want. There's no calories, and you're gonna be just fine all day long. Alrighty. Okay, so we've got our snacks, we've got our drinks, and I hope you're in a safe place to watch. And now we are ready to get started. So get yourself nice and comfy, because we're going to talk about embroidery today. And not just embroidery, we're going to talk about dealing with metallic thread. Now, I know some of you cringe when you hear the word metallic thread. Although it's beautiful, it makes you want to cringe, because dealing with metallic thread and your sewing machine can be a nightmare if you're not sure on how to handle it. So some people have gotten so frustrated that they won't even touch metallic thread. Others are more comfortable with it, but they know they're going to have issues. But I wanted to share a couple of tips that I've learned throughout time, and I've been able to pick up that may make it a little bit easier for you. So this is what we're going to be making. Let me just grab this here. I got a set of placemats. And these are just placemats that you can pick up. I actually got them from TJ Maxx. So they're very, very beautiful. They're just quilted placemats, and they have a very pretty design. So let me scoot my thread over so I can show you what the placemat looks like without any embroidery on it. Okay. So here is the placemat. As you can see, it's beautiful just within itself. It's got a lot of quilting on here. That center is got like a nice cross hatch to it. And then on the edges here, you've got some bows that are in kind of in there with some stippling all around. And it's really gorgeous. It's a round placemat. Okay, and I picked these up at TJ Maxx. So I think it's a pack of 4, and it was like for $16. So, you know, really neat. I thought it's beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. Only thing it's missing is a little splash of color, right? But the quilting on this is gorgeous. I really love it, and it's very, very elegant. So it'll really make a beautiful setting on your Christmas table. So I went ahead and I picked up a pack, and I think this is going to be perfect for a nice Christmas setting. So I got this, and then I went ahead and I picked a design. And I went to Etsy and I started looking for some designs. Yeah, Heather says she loves metallic thread, successfully used the expensive and the cheap. I never hesitate using it. Yeah, it's, you know, embroidering with metallic thread can be scary, and it can be frustrating for some people. But when you look at the results, I mean, it's just gorgeous, and it makes you want to do it over and over again. So I love it. I think it's beautiful, but I can see where people can get frustrated with it. So I'm going to hopefully help you out with that, and hopefully you'll love embroidering with the metallic thread as much as I do. So this is the design that we are embroidering on. So if you take a look at this here, so this is a very simple yet elegant little Christmas tree on it, and it's got like I think about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different colors. So 5 different color changes on here. So not too bad in terms of color changes. It's got a nice dark green, a light green. It's got some red in here and a little bit of what would be represented as gold. And it's a little bit lighter red as well. So there's 2 different shades of red on here. So I thought the design is gorgeous, went ahead and bought it. I think it's great, and you can do it with regular thread. It will look fantastic with regular thread, but I wanted to give it a little bit of a sparkle. So I kind of looked at my shelves here of all my threads, and I looked at my little metallic section, and that shimmer and shine was just calling me. So I went ahead and I picked these threads that I'm going to be using. Now, this is a mixture. So we've got these 2 greens right here. These are not metallic. These are just regular threads, okay? They don't have any shimmer or shine to it. It's just a regular thread color, just a darker green and a lighter green. Okay, but then for the metallic threads that I picked, these are the colors that I picked. Now these are sim threads, so these are the colors. So we've got MS003, MS005, and MS004. So if you have sim thread, you can look for those colors if you want to match it exactly. And these are what the colors look like, and you can see the little shimmer on there. So it is metallic thread. Now, again, you can get a little frustrated if you're not sure how to work with metallic thread, but I'm going to help you out with that. So you can mix metallic thread and regular thread, and it's going to look gorgeous. Let me show you what it looks like when it's all done. Let me grab this out of the way. Grab our little template. So this was my first. I do have to make 4 of them. So this is the first one that I was able to make. And as you can see here, you've got that mixture, and you can see some of the shine on here. And you can notice that the green, the light green and the dark green are not metallic. Okay, I didn't want to overpower it to just be all metallics on here. So I decided to just leave this as regular threads, and then I wanted the bow and all the little accent pieces to be metallic. And so now you have that mixture of the 2, and I think that looks absolutely perfect because it's accenting the little pieces. I didn't want the whole tree to look shiny, right? You wanted it to be subtle. And so I mixed the 2 together. Awesome. Seeing some comments come in. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, it's really nice the way metallics play with regular threads. I think it does a fantastic job. Yeah, and I think it's very elegant. Now, I can go back and add a little saying on here, maybe a little bit of some fonts on here and put some wording, but I think I want to keep it really simple for right now. But you definitely can do a nice job just, you know, getting some of these items from TJ Maxx or, you know, your favorite home goods store. Get some really quality placemats or tablecloths, or, you know, something that you can embroider on that doesn't have too much of a busy background and will really elevate your embroidery design. And I think that this came out just perfect for what I wanted here. Now, I do have to make 4 of them, so I'm going to be making another one with you guys today. But I can warn you that this design is quite lengthy, so I know I won't be able to finish it with you guys today, so I will start it off and give you guys the tips, and we'll hoop it together, and then we'll kind of let it go on its own because it's going to be a while. And part of the reason of that is because I slow my machine down completely. And that's one of the tips that I want to share with you guys. And we'll go through just a few more. So let's put this over to the side and get started with this. I'm going to move these over here for now. And before we start off on our project, I want to just share with you part of what we did yesterday. I went back and I did one more with a short tail. So if you didn't tune in yesterday, we were working on fabric gift bows, and so we did a few of them. And so we have the nice long-tailed one, right? And so we have them like that. And then we have the short tail. And so for the short tail, you can see much difference here, but it really depends on what kind of a gift or what you're going to be using it for. You may prefer the short tail or you may prefer the long tail. So really up to you on how you want to do it. You can do the long tail or you can do the short tail, but nice options, and we had a lot of fun putting this together. So hope you guys enjoyed that. If you didn't see that, just tune in. From this week, we finished them up yesterday, and then we went ahead and we started doing all of the steps, and then we finished it up the next day. So this is what the short one looks like. I'll put it on the desk cam just so you guys can see that, and you can see it's got a nice short tail. So super cute. I'm going to be making a couple of more of these to kind of finish these up because these are going to be for my local gifts. Okay. So just wanted to share that. Let me actually put it back here so it is out of the way. So we're going to get started on our design. So the very first thing that I did when I picked my design from Etsy is I threw it into Embrilliance, and that's the embroidery software. And then I printed out the template. Okay, so I went ahead in here, and reason I brought it into Embrilliance because Embrilliance will put the nice little crosshairs on here. So let me put this on the desk cam so you can see when you're using the software, it will do the crosshair right in the middle, on the sides, on the top, and on the bottom. And that is really for alignment purposes, and it'll help you really align the design exactly where you want it to go. So one of the benefits of having that software, and I think it's really great and really extremely important to do that. Cindy's asking, where did you purchase the Christmas tree design? I had to step out and so the Christmas design, I did get it on Etsy, and then I think Mr. H, did you pin that shoppable link? Yeah. Mr. H put a shoppable link out there for you. It's an Etsy design, and I think it's just gorgeous. I really think it's gorgeous. It's really very elegant looking. There's a ton of all different Christmas designs, but this one just really was perfect for this placemat. I wanted it to be very elegant, and I thought this was a great design for metallic thread. So that's what I did with selecting that one. So again, I printed out the template because we're going to use that for alignment. I am using my Brother SE 1900 that has a 5x7 hoop. So my hoop size isn't terribly large. And that's what I'm going to be using today. So now let's go ahead and pop this open. And I want to go ahead and put my stabilizer on here. So I'm using cutaway stabilizer, and I'm just going to put it right on top of my bottom of my hoop. And then all I'm going to do is just kind of lay it on top here and then cut it. Let's see. I think I put my rotary cutter away. So let me just grab that. Excuse me, guys. Forgot that I put that away. And so I've got just papers everywhere here. Let me just set this to the side so I have some space to work. And
earlier, Deborah had a good tip about metallic thread.
Yeah, we're going to go through all kinds of tips. Well, let's see what Deborah says. If you're having problems with metallic thread twisting and knotting, turn the spool around on the spindle so it feeds on the opposite direction, so it would round onto the spool. Exactly. That's one of the tips we're going to be looking at for sure. And there's a lot of things that you can do that will help you out. So we're going to go through all of that. So let's see.
And then there, I see the
Yeah, Poly Sparkle Thread by Sulky. That's a wonderful option. Okay, it's polyester thread, fleckled with metallics. It presents none of the challenges that are 100% metallic thread, and it's gorgeous. Oh, I'll have to check that one out. I don't think I've ever used that one, but that sounds amazing. I can only imagine how beautiful that would look. Awesome. Okay, so first things first, we need to hoop this. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my hoop here and then go ahead and tighten that up. I've got my stabilizer. Again, I'm just using tearaway stabilizer, and I'm just making sure that it's nice and tight. Of course, you've got that little drum roll test, right? You tap it and just make sure that it's nice and stretched out and ready to go. So this is all I'm doing. I'm going to be floating my item onto the stabilizer, so I am going to use just a tad of some basting spray. Now this placemat is pretty heavy and quilted, so I don't really need much. Once it gets started and starts stitching, it's not going to go anywhere. Pretty confident it's not going to move anywhere. Now this one has a bunch of tags and things attached, so I am just going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to cut this really huge tag right off because I don't want it getting in the way of my embroidery. So I just cut it, and I'll come back later and trim that off a little bit better. But I want to make sure it's not going to get in the way on any kind of embroidery. Now, all my embroidery is going to happen right here in that center, so I should be totally fine. I like to have the little tags or anything that's here in the bottom, so you know, I'll have that going the same way on my hoop here. And then I'm just going to center this onto my hoop. But before I do that, I want to place my template onto the placemat itself. So let's kind of move this over here. I'm going to get over to a flat surface here. You always want to make sure that you're working on a flat surface. That does help things out. And then now that I'm in a flat surface, I want to go ahead and figure out where I want to put this design. So I've got the little tag here. That's going to be on my end here. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to center this. Now, if I wanted to get it exactly in the center, you can fold this in half, finger press here, see where your center is, and then go ahead and place it there. I'm just going to eyeball it. I don't need it to be exact. And I'm just going to go ahead and straighten this out here. And I think I want it about this way here. And I'm just checking, since I have this quilting going on here, I'm just lining it up to make sure that I'm not crooked like this, right? So I'm just looking at my top here. I'm in between these two quilting lines. And then on the bottom, just making sure it's following through so it's nice and straight. And that's all I'm going to do here. And I think that would be just fine. Then I can look at my sides. I may want to scoot this over a little bit. So maybe scoot it over here. And I just kind of want to even this out. So I think that's about right. I might scoot it just a little bit more. And I think I'm pretty happy with that placement. And then I'm going to take some pins and I'm going to pin my template to the placemat. Okay. And I'm only doing this because I don't want it to move around on me. This is where I want my embroidery design to stitch out. And so I want the center to be right on that crosshair. And so when I put it on the machine, I want to make sure that that's where it's going. So I can go ahead. put this on the hoop, but I know that I may have to reposition this just a little bit. So I'm not going to use too much spray here because the spray is really just to hold it down till I get a couple of stitches in. So I don't need like globs of spray holding it down. Just a tad to hold it in place until the first couple of stitches happen. And then after that, it's going to stay right where it is. So let's go over to the embroidery machine, and I'm going to just do a couple of little dabs of spray. I don't want you guys to see all the fumes. So I'm just going to go ahead and come over here, and we're going to turn on our machine, and we're going to set her up and get this thing going. And then we're going to talk about all the different tips on metallic thread. So let me go ahead. I'm going to take my hoop, and I like to spray it by my garbage can here. So you guys won't see it, but you don't want to see the fumes either. So just a little dab here and there. Nothing major. That's all I'm doing, okay? And then that's what I'm going to use to line this up. So I'm going to go ahead and take this. I can kind of temporarily just set it on top, but I don't want to do anything permanent till I bring it over to the machine. So let's bring this over. I'm going to turn this on. And let's get it going here. So I'm going to come on over. And I am going to... Santa beat me. Oh, Santa's embroidering along with me here. He's busy. Santa is busy embroidering items as well. And you can definitely see that he's got too much to do to be bothered with me. So he's embroidering away.
He's getting it done.
He is getting it done. He said, I don't have time to wait. I've got to go. So here we are. Again, I didn't do anything permanent. And I want to set this right where that center needle is, which is just about there. So I'll just kind of tap it down a little bit. Let me pull up the design. Okay. Now I've got my design up. Can they see that part? No, they can't. That's fine. On here, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to trace where the design is going to be. So let's do a little trace. Oops. We want to not do that. So it's going to trace the hoop, and that's fine. The whole tracing part, let me just do that again. I'm going to hit trace one more time. You want to make sure that you are inside the hoop and you're not going anywhere. Now, normally I'd have this attached already to my hoop, but I don't want to do that because I know I'm going to have to adjust it. So I'm kind of waiting. There we go. So this is representing the center. And so now if I come over here and see, this is why I was happy to put those pins. I want to line it up with my center right there. And then I'm going to tack that down. And then I'm going to take my hand wheel here, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it down slightly to see where that needle is coming down. And I want to get it exactly on that center. So you just kind of have to play with that a little bit till you get it exactly where you want. And you can see that, you know, the spray on the bottom is wanting to stick to this. And so I'm keeping it really light until I can get it exactly where I want it. And I think that is correct. There we go. See how my needle is hitting that center? You can do any movements here if you want, but I think that's perfect. That's where I want it. So now I'm going to press it down, and now it's kind of stuck to that hoop, which is exactly what I want. So now if I wanted to, I can trace it again, and I can remove my pins because I got it exactly where I want it. So if I want to check my sides here, right, I can go ahead and look at my sides. And maybe, no, I think I'm happy where that is. I think that's what I want to do there. So if I come over here, I can look, is it exactly where I want it to be? Can you move your hand wheel? And I can see it's a little off on here. So let's pick this up. And let's line this up a little better. And this is where you have to kind of put your hand underneath and unstick it a little bit so that you can move it around. There we go. And then I'll go back to my center and see now I'm off on this end. So you have to kind of play with it to get it exactly where you want it. There you go. I think that will work. Oops. You do have to bring the needle back to the up position for you to be able to move it again. Perfect. Okay. That's what we want there. So I'm good. I'm pressing it down. I'm going to go ahead and take my needles off, and you can remove the template. And that's all you need that template for. It's just so that you can line that up exactly where you want it. So now I'm ready to go ahead and just add my threads. And so I did print out my little colors that I'm going to be using, and I'll show that to you guys in just a second. Let me go ahead and thread this because it is quite a long stitch. Now I have already slowed my machine down completely, and that's exactly what you want to do. So let me thread this real quick, and then we'll come right back to the table. It's kind of hard with all this camera stuff here. Cameras, guys, cameras. They're a thing. And they're always in your way. There we go. Okay. Phew. I think we're ready to go. Let's see here. Yeah, we're ready to go. Okay. Okay, so it is going to get started, and just on this very first color, it's going to take about 36 minutes. So yeah, it'll maybe finish before we're done today here. But this is why I know I'm not going to be able to finish the entire stitch out. But yeah, you can do a basting box also. Yeah, that's another option. I just find it easier to do it this way. And I can just kind of line it up myself. And sometimes I change my mind. Maybe I want to angle it this way. So it leaves me open for options. So I just like to kind of do it this way. Yes, Heather, Blaine will be on today. And definitely he has, and I'm trying to remember the name of the new company. He was with Sewing Machines Plus. He now has moved. And is now, it was Needle Thread. Heather, if you remember the name, I forget the name, Thread something, put it in the chat. He's going to be on later today, and he's going to have some deals on some embroidery machines. So we'll have to take a look to see what he comes up with later on today. I believe he's got a link out on YouTube, and he's going to have a little show today. That's Blaine. So if you remember what it is, Heather, if you can drop that into the chat for me. Yes, Stitch It International. Thank you, Barbara. Yeah, that is it. He will be on later today, and he's going to have some deals on some embroidery machines, so we'll have to check him out too. Awesome. Okay, so this is the little color chart that I went ahead and printed out. This will tell me all of the colors. Now, this design was kind of intended with Madeira thread. This is Madeira rayon thread, so that's the colors that it's showing. I just manually wrote the colors that I'm using my sim thread. I just kind of manually wrote them down, but you can change them in Embrilliance and then save it that way, so you have it saved with the brand that you use for your threads. But these are a great set of thread colors, and I think this is going to be just fine with the way it stitches out here. Okay, so let's go through some of these tips. So first off, best thread that you can use, best metallic thread that is out in the market that you can use. From all the research that I've done, a lot of people, #1 thread for metallic is King Star. Kingstar is highly recommended, and it's really highly recommended because of the way it's manufactured. They have a very unique process that they use for metallic thread. It's wrapped around with materials like silk or rice paper. And so because that's how they wrap around the metallic, it gives it a nice, smoother look and feel, and it's more gentler on the machine. It's not so rigid. And so because it's silk or rice paper that it's wrapped around with, it will flow more smoothly through your machine. So those of you who are looking to purchase metallic thread, Kingstar is the one that's highly recommended. It is really, I've researched so many things, and I've seen so many people say that they have no issues when they use Kingstar's metallic thread. So if you're looking to kind of purchase some of that, I would go ahead and go with it. It is a little bit pricey out there, but it'll be well worth it. If you can go ahead and swing it, get Kingstar thread for metallics, because that's really because of the way they process their threads and it's manufactured. It's really made so that you will not have issues on your machine because of the fibers and the silk that they wrap it with. And that's why that thread, Kingstar brand, goes a lot smoother than any of the others. Now, I ordered Kingstar, but heads up, guys, won't show up until January. So if you're looking for some holiday stuff, it's very difficult to find. If you can get it locally, I'd run and get that, because try ordering it through Amazon. You may be able to get some colors quickly, but for the colors that I was looking for, like the silvers and the golds, they won't get here until January. So I had to go ahead and go with the thread that I have with me today, which is sim thread. Now, just looking and feeling the thread, I already knew, yeah, this doesn't feel like silk, and this is probably going to have issues on my machine. But there's ways around that as well. We've already talked about slowing down your machine. You can slow it down as much as you can to get the best results. Yes, Kingstar is the best. Yes, Jackie, definitely. So, number one, Kingstar, right? Number two, we talked about slowing down the machine. That'll allow the machine to really work with that metallic thread to get it down in the place, and it's not going to tangle up as much on you. If you do a high speed, most likely your thread is going to break. It'll do a couple of stitches and it'll break, and then it'll do some more and it'll break again, and you're just going to get completely frustrated with the process. So please slow down your machine when you're using metallic thread. Okay, next thing is the needle size. You want to use a needle that's a little bit larger. So a 90-14 is the most suggested needle size. Some say 80-12 will be fine, but it also depends on the thickness of the project that you are embroidering on. Okay, so make note of that as well. Thread spool orientation. That's something that someone brought up earlier, right? If your thread is cross-wound, right, then it's preferred for cross-wound thread to be pulled up from the spool. So one of the things that you can do is use your little thread holders, right? We've all got thread holders out there. And when you have thread that is cross-wounded, and this is what I mean, and let's see if we can show that by cross-wounded. See how you've got like the different layers going this way, that way. Okay, that will be your cross-wounded thread. And so when you have thread like that, you want to kind of go up and over. And then when you're getting it towards your embroidery machine, you've got different options, right? Some embroidery machines will have your threads standing up. Some will have them horizontally. So, you know, that does make a difference. So when you are dealing with metallic thread, And I'll read this through you right here. It says, if the thread is cross-wounded thread, then it's preferred to be pulled up off the top of the spool, requiring a vertical spool pin or a thread stand behind the machine. So you want it to come in horizontally, but if you have it on a thread stand for metallic thread, it's best to kind of come up. So if you look at thread, if you're comparing the two, right? If you look at just regular thread, it's very limp, right? It kind of will be very soft and limp, and it's ready to go. Can we do the desk cam? There we go. Now they can see. So it's very limp, right? So the thread is very limp. It's very smooth, and it will go through your machine very easily. But if you're looking at metallic thread, and I'll try to grab one that you can see here. Metallic thread, just looking at it, is kind of rough, and it's not as smooth. And I treated some of my threads so it doesn't look, let me see if I find one. I have one open. No, I don't. Let me try to find one that's not treated as much, and you can really see the difference. And when I say I treated it, and I'll pull, I'll show you exactly what I mean by that. You can see it a little bit here. See how the thread is not as smooth. It's a little bit jagged, and it will easily start to kind of get kind of knotted, like it's not very smooth as the other one. It's got that metallic in it, so it's not going to be very, very smooth. And you can easily already see it starting to tangle up here. And so you've got all of that is going to be a factor when you put it through your machine. It's not as smooth as a regular thread. So what can you do to kind of help things out? I use Sewer's Aid. This is something that you can pick up at your local store. I believe even Walmart has it. This is not very expensive at all. And what I do is I go ahead and I dab a couple of, there we go, a couple of drops right onto the thread. I just kind of do a little line right there. And I do it in a couple of different places. And then I'll just grab my hand and kind of massage that into the thread. What is this doing? What is Sewer's Aid? Well, this is a kind of a lubricant that you can put on your machine. And you can do this for hand sewing. You can do this for machine sewing. It's made for both. And what this does, it's like a little bit of a lubricant. So you can see on my hand and you can feel it. It's very smooth. And it will help the thread go through the machine a lot easier than if it was untreated. Okay, if you do not treat your thread, it's most likely going to kind of get hung up. It'll knot. It'll be a really frustrating experience. But what I like to do is treat my thread. Now, I have heard different ways you can do it like this right before you put it on your machine. Best way from what I've heard is get a piece of batting, put some Sewer's Aid in it, and wrap your thread around it. Leave it overnight. That helps to smoothen your thread, and this will allow the thread to kind of flow right through the machine, and you won't have as many issues. I won't say it's going to take away all your issues for embroidery, but you'll have less issues because now your thread is kind of coated with that lubricant, so it will glide through the machine and it won't get hung up the way a normal embroidery thread would. And let me see if I can just open one up here and show you what one would look like. And this is a brand new thread here. I'm opening up here. Okay. And so you can see it's got that shimmer and shine to it.
Just like this one.
Yeah. And right off the bat, right on the tip, you can see, can you guys see how this thread is? It almost looks like it's shredded, but it's not shredded. It's just because of the metallic, the materials, the makeup of this thread, it is going to have a very non-smoothness to it, right? It's very jagged, like you can feel it in the thread. And you can see here, it's just not a very smooth thread. And so because that, it won't run smoothly on your machine. So if you put a little bit of lubricant on it, that does help it to run a lot more smoother. It won't get hung up. You won't have as many thread breaks, okay? Yes, a larger eye needle too. Yes, so the thread has room to glide through it. That's another tip. Look at the needle that you're using and go one size up, right? That little opening that you have, and if you look at, and I'll just grab one of my books here. And we're just using this for the picture. So you've got all different size needles have different openings, right? So the eye of the needle has different sizes. You want to allow your needle to have a larger size so that the thread has a little bit more breathing room in there and it won't have so much friction, and then it won't break as easy. The bigger the eye needle, the better, so that your embroidery, so that your metallic thread has the space that it's going to need. Less friction, less breakage, okay? What was the needle size again? The one that is recommended is a 90-14. I would also use an 80-12, depending on the project that you're embroidering on. Look at the thickness and decide whether you need to go to a 90-14 or an 80-12 is fine. Those are the two size needles that I use. For this particular one, I believe right now I have an 80-12 on my machine right now. But you can go up to a 90-14, okay? Let's see, what else did we have here? Well, let's give you a little bit more information on the Sewer's Aid. It's a silicone-based liquid. It's a lubricant that helps metallic thread glide smoothly. It prevents breakage, shredding, and skipped stitches by reducing the friction. So that's exactly what we were talking about. This lubricant, because it's a lubricant, it helps the thread glide right through the machine. So that is something that you can use if you do not have the Kingstar metallic thread. Now, if you're using Kingstar, you don't need any of this stuff. You can just go ahead with the Kingstar. You can even embroider that with a higher speed. So you don't have to worry about any of these tips. But it's going to cost you a little bit more on the front end because Kingstar is a little bit more costly. Now, if you do not have it like I do and you're not able to get it in time for your projects, this is something that you can do. All of these little tips will help you out. Now, is it going to eliminate it completely? No, it will not. But it is really going to reduce the amount of breakage or any type of issues that you're going to have on the machine here. So go ahead and treat your threads, whether you want to treat it overnight with some batting, just leaving it on here and letting this lubricant get absorbed into the thread overnight. That'll help it out, or you can do it right before. And what I will do is, as it's embroidering, I'll drop a couple of more. I'll stop my machine, drop a couple more threads, and just kind of do that with my hands and just kind of, make sure that the lubricant is getting all around the thread cone here. So that's just something that I like to do every once in a while. I'll stop it and do that. So now I'm not an affiliate with Kingstar, but I did want to get that information out to you. So definitely, if those are the projects you're looking to do, make sure that you use the best option that you can and the best that your budget will allow, right? So this is going to help you to get a stress-free, less frustration, to get your project done, but these are some of the tips that I wanted to share with you guys because it's really helped me out. I know in the beginning when I first started, I used metallic thread and it was just a nightmare. And I said I'd never use that again because it was just a really long project and I had so many thread breakages and it was just horrible. It was really, really bad and did not have a good experience. Then I did a little bit more research, learned about it, and attempted it a couple of more times. Found, you know, as you continue to do more and more research in your sewing journey, you find all kinds of different tips. You just need to figure out what's going to work for you. So this sewer's aid was like a little lifesaver for me in using my metallic thread because, you know, the threads are an investment. And I've already spent the money on these threads. And yes, if I can get King Star, I will definitely do that. But I also want to make use of some of this thread too. I don't want it just to go to waste. So if you have metallic thread that is not King Star, I think this is going to help you out tremendously, along with all the other tips that we talked about. Yeah, it's not enjoyable when the thread breaks often. Exactly. It can get really frustrating. And I don't want you guys to get very frustrated with this project. So, you know, take heed of all of the little tips. Slow that machine down. That's a huge difference. You really need to slow it down. That's going to help tremendously. Try some lubricant on your threads if you don't use your King Star. Make sure that the orientation of how your thread is flowing from the cone, make sure that that's going the correct way and feeding into the machine nicely, because if it doesn't, then it can, you know, also cause it to get hung up there. So you guys have tons of tips that, for those of you are kind of like some seasoned people, you guys have tons of tips. Let us know in the chat some things that you have seen. And if you had any frustrations or some things that you are do not do's, go ahead and put those in the chat too. But yeah, but Mariana, definitely a larger eye needle. Definitely, yes. Oh, Heather says they also make metallic needles. Yes. They have that as well. You do have to look at the sizes on those as well. And I believe Schmetz has metallic in here as well. I think I saw it. Yep, here it is. So these little booklets, you can find them everywhere. You can check with your local quilt store. They may have them. But you can go to the Schmeck website and get those as well. If you have a brother or baby lock, the organ needles are very good on those machines. That's what they test with. So you'll have these, but it's got some information on all different types of needles. So do your research for that. A thread net. Yes, that's another one, Jackie. So a thread net, if you're not sure what that is, when you purchase your threads, they have thread nets on here. You can also use a thread net when you are using this on your embroidery machine. It will help to keep the thread from tangling, right? You definitely want to try to use that as well. That's another great tip. Thank you for that. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's see. Yeah, King Star was owned by Dime and Dime sold it to OESC. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead now. I know we only have a minute, so let's go ahead and get our inspirational quote of the day. All right, so today's quote of the day is, DIY holiday decor brings warmth, personality, and care into every corner of the home. And it absolutely does, especially when you're able to customize things for the holidays and for those that you love. So go ahead, don't be afraid of tackling some of these projects. We've shared quite a few tips for metallic threads. Let's see what you guys can do with metallic threads. There's tons of projects out there that you can work with this. And I think it's gonna be just amazing and look absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna continue to stitch out here and finish these up, and hopefully you guys will too. Thank you guys all for your support. I really appreciate it. I hope you have a fantastic day. and I hope to be crafting with you soon. Bye, everyone.
So long for now, so long. Glad you stayed a while. Hope you liked my crafting style. Hope I left you with a smile. By now, keep your mind and space clutter-free. Hope your day is bright as can be. So long, my friends, till we craft once again. Bye now, stay crafting. See you tomorrow. So long, my friends, till we craft once again.